What's up? I'm Aaron Cartier and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see, I am in a much different location than what I normally am at, and that is what today's video is kind of going to be focusing on. Not about the hotel and the location, but the reasoning why I am here. I feel like I really don't ever talk about my day-to-day regular job, and today we are going to be divulging and delving all into that for people who may want to get into this career field as well. A lot of you may not know, but I am a flight attendant. That is what I do to pay the bills, to make my coin, to sustain this lifestyle of doing content and everything. And I rarely talk about it on my channel because I really don't want my job to be my focal point or that to be my whole personality or my life. When I'm done with work, I leave work at home, which is a great part of this job. But anybody who is aspiring to want to get into this field, I kind of wanted to come and do a good and the bad, what they don't really tell you about this job and this lifestyle, because sometimes I feel like it gets glamorized, and baby, when I tell you it is not always beautiful, it is not always beautiful. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into today's video. It's going to be all about what they don't tell you about becoming a flight attendant. Now, if you're someone like me, I have always wanted to be a flight attendant. When I decided to get into this career field, it was kind of because I wanted a change, but it was always in the back of my mind, but I never really pursued it until I moved to LA. Once I moved to LA and I was working 3 jobs, I was like, you know what, I'm over this BS. So I decided to apply and become a flight attendant. Now, the first airline that I applied for, I never heard anything about, but then I applied for another airline, and by the time I moved out of LA, I had got all the way to the interview process for this job. Now, I love this job. It has its moments where I don't love it, but I feel like that's any job. You're always going to have a moment when you're just like, you're over it and you just hate it. But I do love this job and the benefits that it does provide. Now, when I first got into this job, I probably should have researched a lot more. I didn't really watch the YouTube vloggers that were in this field or anything. I kind of just watched more so about the interview. So if you're somebody who wants to get into flight attending, one thing that I feel like you should definitely know is that you are going to miss out on important situations. I feel like that's kind of small. I feel like I'm starting that out with kind of a cushion. You're going to miss out on important things in your life. You're going to miss birthdays. You're going to miss anniversaries. You're going to miss your child's game if you have children. You're going to miss out on so much. You're going to miss Christmas. You're going to miss New Year's. You're going to miss basically every holiday you're going to miss. Now, when I first started with my first airline, I got lucky and I was able to not miss New Year's Eve, but I haven't missed New Year's Eve. Last year I missed New Year's Eve. The year before that I had New Year's Day off, but then I called out on New Year's Day, which is not good, but I called out on New Year's Day, and I had Christmas off my first year, so I got to experience some holidays. But being new, you're definitely not going to be able to attend every holiday. You're not going to be able to attend every birthday. I just recently missed one of my good friends' birthdays, but I'm able to go to one of my other best friends' birthdays this month. So it's kind of like a hit or miss, especially when you're new. You're going to miss out on things, so be prepared to miss out on things, a lot of things. I will also say something they don't tell you is that in the beginning the money is going to suck. Now, for everyone that can look a little different. Some people I know, they have savings. Some people they save all their coins. Some people, they don't have a lot of bills. Like me, thankfully, where I'm currently at right now, I'm living in New York. I currently have a house, but I have roommates, and I thankfully don't have a lot of bills, which is amazing. So the money I can manage with, and I also have side hustles and things like that, like content creation, so I'm thankful for that. But you're not going to have a lot of money. You're going to be poor. There are stories that I've read on Facebook pages about junior flight attendants living in their cars because they can't afford a place in base, or they can't afford a crash pad, and they're living in their cars, and they can barely even buy food to eat. In my airline, we do get crew meals, so for a lot of junior people, you know, the crew meals are a blessing. Or, you know, if somebody in first class doesn't eat, that could be their only meal, or they might be eating out of the snack basket. So for some people, not having the money is definitely tough. When I first got on the line with my first airline and I got out of training, because they do not pay you in training for my very first airline, a lot of airlines don't pay you. Some do, and some give you like a kind of like a stipend at the end of training after you completed the entire 6 to 7 weeks. And I literally was texting all my friends and family being like, can you please give me some money? I don't want to say give me, but can you please send me some money, because I don't even have money to get food at the airport. I literally had no money in my account, because from what I didn't save up, I should have saved up a lot better, but I just did not have any money. And it's kind of hard to save up when you're living in a hotel for 6 weeks, because I mean, you still got to buy groceries to cook, you still have to, pay to get your clothes washed and dried and all of those things. You still have to, get your hair cut, you still have to get your nails done, because I mean, you still have to look presentable in training. You can't be in training just looking a mess. So you still have to sustain a way of life. You may not be able to do the most glamorous things you were able to do, but you still have to, look presentable, have clean nails, have your hair cut, have your hair done, clothes washed, be able to, eat out. If you decided you're one of those people that like to DoorDash and do all that stuff, you definitely have to have the money. So it can be rough in the beginning. A lot of people say you don't even start making good money until you reach like 5 or 6 years, and I'm only 2 years in. But like I said, thankfully I have content creation that has helped me have extra money to do other things outside of this. And then I also, like I said, I don't have a lot of bills, so that has definitely helped me a lot. Another thing I feel like they don't warn you about or talk to you about before you get into this career field is the emotional stress that this job can take on you. I feel like for a lot of people, this job can be very lonely. For me, I do like my alone time. I've come to enjoy my alone time, especially as I've gotten older. When I was younger and I was in my 20s, baby, I wanted to be outside on every layover. I wanted to be doing something. I'm like, why do I have a 20-hour layover and I'm sitting in the hotel? Now that I'm older and I'm in my mid-30s, I'm like, I enjoy my quiet time in my room. I enjoy putting my YouTube on. I'll drink my cocktail, eat my food, talk on the phone with my friends, and call it a day. Like, I don't have to be ripping and running and things like that like I used to be. But for some people, that can be definitely hard, especially when you come from a place where you are used to hanging out with people all the time. You're used to being around people all the time. Like, for instance, your crew may not want to hang out during that trip, so now you're all by yourself. And I can say this job has taught me how to do things alone. Now that I live in New York, I don't really have a lot of friends there. I don't know a lot of people outside of the people that I kind of work with. Thankfully, my people that I work with, they have become my friends, and I have made some fashion friends as well, so I'll hang out with them. But I've learned to do stuff by myself. If you are not somebody who knows how to do things alone, or you're not somebody that is able to adapt, then you definitely are going to have a hard time. There are a lot of flight attendants that do end up committing suicide and things of that nature. I'm just keeping it real. That's what this video is about. There are a lot of flight attendants that commit suicide because this job is so lonely, because you're away from your family again. Tying it into the beginning, you're missing out on special occasions. You're not there. Your friends and family are out having fun, and you're freaking stuck in freaking Minnesota, or you're stuck in freaking Ohio somewhere in the blistering cold all by yourself and can't get out, and you've been stuck in a metal tube for 2, 3, 4 hours of your day. So it definitely can be hard if you're not someone who is able to adapt and someone who is able to adjust. The loneliness can definitely take over you if you're someone who is not used to that. So definitely be mindful if you want to get into this job that that's going to be one of the things you're going to have to deal with, is loneliness and being alone and being by yourself. Now, this is my own personal opinion. However, I will say that I think a lot of flight attendants can probably agree with me on this. You will definitely feel undervalued, and you will definitely feel underappreciated. Now, I know a lot of people think that our job is just, oh, you're just pouring Cokes and you're just passing out snacks, when in actuality, we are safety professionals. When we are in this 7 weeks training, we are not being taught pouring beverages and pouring snacks. Yeah, we do like a simulation service, but our 7 weeks, we are being tested on getting you out of that plane in 90 seconds if an emergency is happening. We are learning how to pitch a raft if we're caught in the ocean somewhere. We're pitched on giving CPR and trying to bring someone back to life, or give people the Heimlich if they're choking, or how to deal with someone if they're having some type of medical situation. That is what our 7 weeks are trained on. And a lot of people will look at you and they'll just think that you are a sky waitress. That's kind of the term that a lot of people will use on Facebook, that I'll see in some Facebook groups. They'll call you a sky waitress, or they'll be like, tell that flight attendant to bring me my drink. Why I didn't get my free beverage in first class? Like, I've had medical emergencies happen on a plane, and we are literally rolling the carts back because we need to clear the aisle, and people are literally waving us down because they're not getting a drink, or they're like, and we're like, someone is literally passed out in the middle of the aisle, and you're rolling your eyes and having no empathy because you want a freaking free Coke, or you want a freaking screwdriver. Like, saving someone's life and bringing them back to life and making sure they make it to their destination is more important than getting you your Coke. And that kind of upsets me and pisses me off, because people can be just so heartless as a people. I don't know if people have been conditioned to just be one track minded and only care about themselves, but people don't care. They don't care. They don't care about the day you've had, the day that you've been through. Like, people can barely even say good morning to you sometimes. Like, you can speak and say hi, good morning, when people are boarding, and they'll literally just walk past you and not say nothing. And to me, that's very rude. You can at least give a head nod, or you can just say what's up or something. But people will literally just ignore you, and they'll walk straight to their seat and not pay you no mind, or they'll have an attitude, or you'll tell them, oh, your bag was going to bin. Like, I know. And then they'll still put it in there incorrect. So it's just like, sometimes you can be undervalued and unappreciated. That can go with the people, and that can also go with your company. This is my own personal opinion, but I feel like I can be backed up by other crew members on this. The company can sometimes make you feel unappreciated. They can make you feel like they don't care about you. Why am I on a layover or not on a layover? Why am I in a destination and my flight has got canceled, and now I'm on the freaking phone with scheduling for 3-4 hours because I'm trying to get a hotel? That is something else you have to keep in mind, because you will be sitting there and you'll be stranded with no hotel for 4, 5, 6 hours. You're tired, you're ready to go to sleep, and you're just sitting on the airport, and they're not answering the phone because it's busy, it's irregular operations going on right now, and you're just sitting there waiting with no hotel. And it just makes you feel like, you know what, I'm not appreciated. It makes you feel like, you know what, they don't care about me getting rest. They only care about on-time departures and making sure that they get these flights out on time. That's all they care about. And I know that these are corporations, billion-dollar corporations, and at the end of the day, the profit is what matters, but also the people are what matter too. The people are what matter. Without the people, you cannot operate. You cannot have on time and make these billions of dollars with other forward-facing people. And sometimes they just act like they don't care. I'll never forget the time when I was literally flown through a hurricane. I don't know if y'all remember, like, I think this was 2024. I was flown through a hurricane. Literally, when that hurricane was happening in Florida, we literally landed. We had passengers that threw up. We had a man that got off on a gurney because he was complaining about his heart. We had a son that was having a panic attack. A mom that basically passed out because it was so terrifying. And they still made us land. And our pilots were like, we are calling out. We're not flying back out into that. But guess what they did to us? They brought in some new pilots that made us fly back to base. In the doors in Orlando, that's where it was happening. The doors in Orlando were literally slamming shut. They couldn't even open the doors because the wind was so strong and so powerful. Like, it was crazy. And then I also, one time I've had a manager, me and my crew, we were getting rerouted, we were getting sent to other destinations, and then we had to end up diverting to another place because we were low on fuel from circling so much. We hadn't eaten. I think our report was probably like 8 a.m. or something. We had not eaten, and again, we land in Florida. Our flight lead calls a safety timeout, and they're like, hey, we're gonna go get food. And then we end up going to get food, and a manager comes up to us and is like, hey, are y'all working this flight? And we're like, yes, we are. And he was like, what are y'all doing here? And we're like, we haven't eaten, we haven't gotten food. And he was like, well, did y'all send a message? And we're like, yes, we sent a message and nobody responded. And he was like, well, I'm gonna need y'all to go back to this gate because we need y'all to get this flight out on time. The rudest interaction I had ever had with a manager, and I was probably only like 2 months in at this time, and we literally wrote him up to his manager, and our managers came back and were like, we couldn't even find the message thread in the chat. Like, he had probably went in there and deleted it. That's just my guess, allegedly, but that's another way. you won't feel appreciated. Like I feel like sometimes you never hear from anybody unless you're doing bad. I feel like you never hear from your manager unless you're doing something wrong. A passenger has complained on you and lied on you, because passengers do lie and they do exaggerate their stories and they complain on you and make up stuff. That's the only time. Why are you not telling me the good stuff? Why are you not building me up? Why are you just not sending me a message or just calling me and being like, hey, just want to check how you were doing, seeing how you were feeling, just wanted a pulse check. You only call people when they're doing bad things, or when you think that they're doing bad things, or you're getting in trouble for uniforms. It's kind of crazy to me. So that to me, sometimes you can feel unappreciated. I have gotten to a point, like earlier, a couple months ago, probably like January, I was texting one of my friends from training. I'm like, girl, I'm over this. I'm struggling right now. I don't know how I'm going to keep going with this job. Like, it's just so hard. I don't feel like the morale is high. I don't feel like I'm being valued or appreciated. But I ended up doing some things when I got to New York. I went to the Houston Rodeo. That's what I did. I went to the Houston Rodeo. I went and had a good old time, and then I was looking back. We're going to change topics now and get into the good things. I went back and I was like, you know what? Being able to do things like this is why I'm here at this job. Like, not only does it allow me the flexibility somewhat where I can be off for 5-6 days in a row, but I could also wake up tomorrow and be like, I want to go to the Houston Rodeo, and hop on a plane and just book my hotel in my car. I don't have to worry about the paying for the flight or anything. So that is the beautiful thing of this job, is that you do get to fly for free, which I'm sure everyone in the world knows that you fly for free. You don't have to pay unless you go international, which is another beautiful thing. The things that it has allowed me to do, like for my birthday, go to Tokyo. I'm planning to go out the country again for my birthday this year. Being able to allow my family to be able to travel for free and go to destinations that they so choose when they want to. Like, that is great. Allowing my best friend to travel with me and go to these places like Tokyo with me, allowing the people that I really care about the chance to go explore new places and try new things. And then also you get to stay in nice hotels. Like, I'm currently on a layover right now at this hotel, which is a very, very nice hotel in downtown. I'm currently downtown right now on a 20-hour layover. I love long layovers. I don't like anything that's under 16 hours. And I'm getting ready to go outside after I film this video, walk around, give me some lunch, and just explore. Like, you get to do things like that. You get to meet so many different people from so many different backgrounds. You get to experience so many different cultures, which is so amazing. Like, being able to experience new cultures and go to places I've always dreamed of, or go visit my friend in LA when I'm off, whenever I want to, or just fly back home to Nashville to spend time with my friends or my family when I want to. Like, that's the beauty of this job, and that is my why behind this job, and why I'm able to do things that I am able to do. So that always grounds me and brings me back to why I'm here, because not everything is bad. Like, yeah, there are bad things, and that's with every job, but there are beautiful, great things about this job too. And sometimes you have to remember that even when the company feels like it's against you, even when the passengers feel like they're against you, you have to remember, why did I start doing this? What was my reasoning? Yes, I need money to pay bills, but outside of that, what else am I doing this for besides just the coin? And the traveling is definitely the number one thing, baby, because if I wasn't able to travel for free, I don't even know if I'll still be here right now. And still keeping in that mindset of good things, because I do want to end this video off in a good note. The other thing that I really love about this job is that you don't have to see the same people all the time. When you work in the office, and I've come from office work, you have to see those same people every day, all day. This job, you don't always run into them people. You don't always work with the same people. Now, I have worked with the same people before, maybe on another trip, but those people have always been amazing people that I've worked with. You don't have to see people that you don't like all the time. You can avoid them. You can be away from them. You don't have to hang out with them. You don't have to do any of that. And I love the flexibility of this job. Like I said previously, you can have 5, 6, 7 days off in a row. You can take that time to go out of the country if you want to. You only got to pay for your hotel. The flexibility is just a beautiful thing. Like, I don't know what I'll be able to do. Like, I talk to some of my friends, and there's like, wow, I wish I had 5 days off. And you just have your 2 weekend days off. Like, you get to have way more time off than regular people do. And sorry if I keep looking around because I'm looking outside the window, and my scenery is just so nice and beautiful. So I keep looking at out the window because I'm taking it all in. But yeah, you don't have to see the same people. It's more flexible. You have more flexibility in the fact that your day's off. That don't mean you're going to be able, like I said, make every event, but you can make up for it. You can have the day off after the event and go home and chill with your people if you want to. But it's just remembering the beautiful things. But I did just wanted to let y'all in on the real. If you ever did think that you wanted to get in this job and you think that you did want to be a flight attendant, just know that it is not all glamorous. It's not all the TikTok videos that they make it out to be, or the YouTube videos. I feel like the YouTubers kind of be a little more real because the content is more longer. But I just don't want this video to be long and drawn out. We're already at 22 minutes from what it's saying, so I'm going to leave it here. If there is anything else you would like to know, please let me know down in the comments. Let me know if there is anything else you would like to know about the flight attendant lifestyle, and I can make another video. Now my channel is not going to turn into no flight attendant channel, but I can let you into some other things because I feel like I don't talk about my job that much, and it is a part of my life. So it's like, I don't mind sharing some tidbits here and there, but I don't want this video to be drawn out. I hope you all learned some things. I hope you all got some gems for this video. If you did, like I said, please let me know that in the comments. Make sure that you do give this video a big thumbs up as well. And until I talk to you guys in my next video, as always, make sure that you shine bright like a diamond. Bye.